In the conclusion to my book, I draw up two lists I draw up, as it were, the debit column in the ledger and then the credit column. The credit column is actually longer. So here are some of the items in the credit ledger. We talked about anti-slavery, and this was a consistent policy for 150 years, for the second half of the empire's life. There was also the imposition of peace, I've mentioned. Native peoples did benefit from the imposition of imperial authority, which subdued warfare between natives. There was also the establishment of the rule of law. I was in Shanghai in China a few years ago and met a young couple from Singapore. And as soon as Daniel had introduced himself to me, he said, without any prompting, he said, "We in Singapore are grateful to you British for the rule of law." And another anecdote I have relative to that is I had a Chinese colleague from Hong Kong visiting me in Oxford, and I said to him, "So, Ping Chung, what do you think about the British legacy, the colonial legacy in Hong Kong?" And he said, "Well, you know, if in the 1950s or 60s China had been a liberal democracy, Hong Kong wouldn't look so good. But in the 50s, late 50s, early 50s, China was in a state of anarchy and civil war, and that's why you had 1 million or 2 Chinese, no one knows how many, fleeing mainland China, coming into the non-democratic colony of Hong Kong. Why? Because at least there was the rule of law, which provides life with predictability, and you can at least have sufficient stability to flourish there. So the establishment of the rule of law was really important, very important for foreign investment. The British, up until 1929, I think invested more overseas than any other European country, and investors don't invest unless the environment is secure, because otherwise they risk losing their investment. So the establishment of rule of law, stable government, encouraged investment in India and Africa and Australia and North America. And not least thanks to that, look at what the British Empire grew up. So the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and indeed Israel, some of the most prosperous, stable, liberal countries in the world, all of them were progeny of the British Empire. So I think there are quite a large number of benefits that the empire conferred upon various parts of the world.